Lunch with Jewel. I help entrepreneurs to show up big and connect with their people. Today, we're going to talk about a tip for being organized. And as a reminder, BOSS, our acronym that lines up our content Monday through Thursday. B is for branded, O is for organized, S is for sustainable, and the second S is for success minded. So today is Tuesday, and so we're talking about being organized. Now, I use this as a power tip because, quite frankly, every now and then I have trouble finding stuff. I don't know about you. You're busy. I'm busy. Sometimes, particularly with digital files, even with massive search capability, sometimes I can't find stuff. So, what I want to share with you today is the importance, in my opinion, of a file structure to uh, archive your documents in your repository and how to go about doing that so that it's really helpful. So my background is in IT project management, and so everybody hates folders. Like techie people hate folders, at least the ones I know. And so, but I was the queen of folders, not too many, but I had a method to my madness. And so, what I'm going to share with you today is my method for staying organized and hopes that it will help you as an entrepreneur because most of the time you're not out. You're not sitting at your desk organizing your files. You get a file, you get something, you need somewhere to put it, you save it off, you take a screenshot, you save it. You're like, oh crap, I forgot to name the screenshot. Where was that? What was, and so the whole point of, doing your research and connecting with different information, it kind of goes awry because if you can't find it, what do? You repeat the activity, do it over again to find the thing. And that's just redundant and really wasting your precious time, right? So, this is my logic behind folders. So, what I highly recommend, I don't recommend that you just create folders for the sake of creating folders on the fly. Okay. But for digital documentation, what I do is I have a folder structure. And it is the way I developed it is just to mentally go through my business and what are the important things that I want to keep. Right. So you kind of have to backward engineer based on your business. What type of documentation do you need to keep? What's valuable for you to have on hand when you're looking for it? What might you need to connect? Sorry, what might you need to uh, transition to someone else? Say if you add someone else to your team or you want to delegate, what information do you want to make available, right? And so that's not a cookie cutter answer. I mean, I have my folder structure. I'm happy to share it with you, but really, and it's pretty standard, I think, if you kind of walk through it. But I think it's worthwhile even if I were to give you my structure, which I'm happy to do for free, of course. But it's important for you to do the exercise of walking through what you need to run your business. Now, this is how I recommend you do it. I recommend you do a multiple passes through. So the first thing I think you need to do as an entrepreneur is go through, just mentally walk through your process. And you may not have time to sit around and mentally walk through it, but as you're doing things, take a note of the order you do things in and why you do them in that order. So I would say just to be mindful, first of all, of what are the systems and processes in your business. And don't make it kind of, people say, hear the word system or process, and then we start thinking, oh my gosh, here's some paperwork. No, I mean, it's just the way you do things, right? So take a look and have an awareness about the way you do things and the order you do things in, and just understand why you do that. Now, as you're going through your process, take a note. What things do I need to keep? Where do I put that document when I'm done with it? What do I do with the receipts? What do I do with those? And where do I need to be able to find them? Just thinking about, what are the things on a day-to-day basis that you come in contact with that you want to retain for some purpose. Sometimes it's, there may be personal development and training. When you're looking at training that you're retaining, don't just put it in a training folder. What are the skill sets that you are working to develop with that training? So even though you may have a training folder in your structure, your underneath that structure should be the skill sets that you are looking to develop based on that training. or that skill. That way, say it's sales, right? So under training, you have sales and you say, oh man, I went to this webinar. It was really awesome. It taught me how to do sales prospecting. Okay, so all your stuff, whether it's a training you attended or it's a YouTube video you saw that you wanted to keep track of, whatever it is, when you're ready to revisit that skill, you know exactly where to go. You're not like I used to be, oh, what I do with that, which I still do to a certain extent. So once you have gone through the process of mentally having a level of awareness about what your process is, how you do things, then that, and you've noted what types of documents and things that you want to retain out of those processes, then you backwards engineer a folder structure that works for you. So, for example, with social media, what do you do with all of your content? Okay. This is like a bonus tip. I wasn't planning on talking about this, but was a big one for me. And it's in my structure, I keep social media and I have videos that I produce. I have images. I have, in images, I have quote images, funny things. So you need a way to organize those things, and don't count on your social media platform to be your organizational structure, because guess what? They could be gone tomorrow. Or you may post one on image on Instagram and go, oh shoot, I really want that to be on Facebook. Oh, I need to organize. You just want to own your content so that no matter what happens, wherever it happens, your content, you know where it is, and it's helpful from a time management perspective, because then you can reuse content, right? But if you don't know where it is, or if you've got it on different platforms, and I got, in case you haven't figured it out, different platforms have different formats, they have different ideal image dimensions, and they also have different audiences with different perspectives, or you might want to approach them a little bit differently because they have different audience personalities, I'll say, right? So the power tip is to go through your process, take a note of the things you need, and then back into a folder structure that works for you. Now, I use Google Workspace. I'm a Google person, but you may be a Microsoft person, which is fine either way. It doesn't matter. But you want to be able to have a structure so that, and this is how I use it. The other day, I was looking for I put together a document for my prospecting process. Okay. I put together a document. I've been working on it, putting things in, every here and there, probably for at least a month, right? At least a month. And so the other day I finally was able to get back to it, and I was like, oh, what did I do with that? And so I searched for it, and I was like, oh shoot, what folder is it in? Because I did not put it where it was supposed to be initially. The beauty of having an organized folder structure is that you can logically think through where it should be so that you can find it, or when you're able to find it, you can place it where it needs to be, right? Because I was looking for this, so I'm stuttering. So I have a folder, so I was thinking, okay, this is prospecting. So that goes under the sales folder. Okay, let me look under sales. Okay, sales. All right, I don't see it there. It's not there. That's where it's supposed to be. But once you know where it's supposed to be and you put it there, you only have to look for it once, because from that point forward, you know exactly where to find it, right? So the good thing is that we have such great search capabilities with these tools that I could search it up, and I found it after, a few tries, because I didn't remember what I named it, which brings up my second point of naming conventions. But the point is, once I get it, I put it where it belongs, because I can know for a fact, based on my system, okay, sales, prospecting, that's in sales. I have sales and marketing folder. Oh, that's where it goes. You don't have to necessarily memorize the structure, but you can memorize the logic behind why you put the structure together the way you did, and always know where your things are, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. So the second thing I was going to share real quick, and then I'll wrap this up, was a file naming convention could be a second layer. I don't really think it's as relevant now as it used to be. I grew up corporately in IT environment. So file naming conventions were necessary so that you can do automated things like ETL and bring document and automate in a system, right? A program that you're writing. But also naming conventions helped me to find things. And so a file naming convention is simply just a standard way that you name a thing. So you might say, okay, put the year, the month, and the date, and then put, what it is, status, I don't know, status notes, meeting notes. And then after that, put the topic, sales, right? And that way you could always know exactly what to search for. So had I used a naming convention on my prospecting document, I would have known exactly what to put in the search. Now, like I said, it's nice to have, and it's an easy way to take care of things, an easy way to remember how to name a thing. But with search capabilities, it's not quite as important as it used to be because you can always search for things, even though it may take you a little bit longer. So anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you today, that being organized is so important. I personally have never seen a statistic on this, but my personal opinion is that those businesses that fail in the first, whatever it is, used to be 3 to 5 years. I think it's more yes, definitely it's culture. Yes, definitely your product sucks. Maybe that caused you to fail. But honestly, being organized about the way you're going about your business really smooths the path so that some of the hiccups that a lot of businesses experience, you might not have had as much of an issue. Now, I'm not going to say, oh, well, if you get a file naming convention now, you're going to make it. No, but if you had a capability to move quickly, because you can find things the first time and you're not spending a lot of time looking for things that you should have been able to find in 3 minutes. It takes you, 3 hours or 30 minutes to find something that should have taken you 3 minutes to find. You don't want to go there. So that time adds up. And it also helps you in terms of confidence because you know that you can put your hands on whatever you need when you need it. So don't underplay or downplay being organized. It's really important. So I hope this has been helpful for you. I know that adding this organization has been helpful for me. I don't think it's something that's going to be implemented overnight for you because it wasn't for me, right? I didn't have a weekend and sit down and say, oh, okay, this weekend I'm going to get organized. No. Maybe you got a bored teenager who's complaining about being bored because they're out of school. Sit them down in a chair and have them organize your stuff. But for the most part, that's not going to happen. So you just go along and you do it as you go. You like I mentioned, I had a document. I couldn't find it. I went through my logic of my file system where it should be, wasn't there, searched, found it, put it there. Now I'll never have to look for it again. So, like I said, I hope this is helpful for you. If it's helpful, then definitely share the video. I love when people share my video. And if you have questions about you might want to think about organizing it, then just definitely reach out to me. And if you want my simple file naming structure, I'm happy to share it with you. Just message me and I'll shoot it over to you. And with that, I'm going to wrap this up. Again, this has been Jewel and I, Lunch with Jewel. See you next time. Bye for now.